I'm trying to be super ambitious and try and go live on Facebook and Instagram at the same time, and I think I'm failing, but I'm live on Instagram. So anyway, here we go. How are you all? Isn't the house quiet? Are your houses quiet? Now everyone's gone back to school. It's really creepy, it's really spooky. There's not all the noise that I'm used to. I'm used to people doing handstands all over the place, and Mum, and do you want this, and can I have this, and it just feels really, really quiet today. So it's nice to be here with you, because it just does feel a little bit weird. So I don't know how you're feeling about that, but it's nice to see you joining. So right, last week I did Let's Lighten It Up for Spring series, video series. So I did Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Was meant to go live on Friday, but had my injection. Yeah, that was fun. Glad to have had it, but there have been side effects from it. So I'm kind of catching up. This coming week, I'm going to be doing a new series about high street heroes. So I'll talk to you about that in a little while. But at the moment, we're going to be lightening things up for spring, because the nights are getting lighter, the mornings are getting lighter, people are ready, I can feel it in the air, people are ready for a change. I'm like, sick of wearing my jogging bottoms, I'm sick of wearing really heavy jumpers, but where do I do, what do I do, how do I start? So just to, oh, I'm sorry I'm a bit fuzzy, Jackie. Let me just move this. Not a clear pic. Is that better? Let me know if that's a clearer pic. Is that a clearer pic, ladies? Let me just switch this off. I'll carry on and you tell me whether I'm a bit clearer now, because I did have a ring light on there which I've taken off. No, well that's funny, because I'm not on, I am on 4G. I can't think of anything that's covering the that's covering anything. Let me know, can any of you see me okay, or is it fuzzy for all of you? In which case that's probably a bonus when it comes to seeing me, but maybe not when it comes to seeing the clothes. It's okay though. Louise, no. Does that mean you can't see me very well, Louise? Better now. Oh, it's better for Mel. Let's just wait a second and see if it sorts itself out. I could go and try and clean the camera screen thingy lens, but I'm not quite sure where it is, and then you'll probably get a close-up of my chest, which frankly nobody needs on a Monday morning. So I'll carry on. Let me know if it's really bad for you and you can't see anything, and we'll switch it off and start again, or do something super busy. Well, I don't quite know what. Anyway, so let me do a little bit of a recap. I can just about see comments, so let me know if it's really bad. Let me know, and I think you should carry on. It's plush. I don't know what that means, but I'll go for it. So last week, I started off by looking at that probably lens. I think it's an Instagram prod, Beth. I've seen a few lives like this over the past few days. Can see you, but not crystal clear. Louise, that is better. You don't want to see me too closely, let me tell you that. I might act like a little filter. That would be good. Okay, so first things we looked at. Let me just straighten that up a little bit. I don't want to get too close, because then you'll see all my grey hairs, which I need doing. Now managed to buy some root stuff yesterday, but haven't actually managed to do it. So we started off by lightening it up from the outside in. So we were looking at coats. Before we get to the coats though, I want you to all to have like your first aid kit, your toolkit in place when it comes to layering, because layering is key at all times of year, don't get me wrong, but particularly when you're switching from season to season, layering is really important. So I all want you to have in your wardrobe some vests, and I've got a nice one here. Now this is pricier, and I am doing my high street heroes. I get a lot of my stuff from my vests from M&S, H&M, but you know, it's up to you to decide where you need to commit your money. So if you feel like the fabrics that are closest to your body need to be really soft, really comfortable, but then you can cope with scratchier stuff on the outside, that's fine. This is an Asquith one, which I was wearing yesterday. Mel, I thought it'd be good for you because it's got a good length to it. And it is the softest, most comfortable vest, and it's got some warmth to it as well. It's got a real proper thickness to it. So I think whether they're from Asquith, whether they're from M&S, whether they're from New Look, H&M, wherever, we all need some vests in our wardrobe, particularly at this time of year, and we all need some leggings as well that we can sneak under dresses and we can sneak under skirts. It's the only way that we can create the looks that we want while still keeping comfortable and not wearing them for half an hour, freezing to death, and then just going and putting some jogging bottoms and a really thick jumper on. That's the only way we're going to do this, is by being really clever with our layers. So on top of a vest, and those of you who follow me will know this, but I normally have a long sleeve crop top as well. And I can still put a blouse over the top. I can still put pretty things over the top. But underneath that, there will be lots of things going on. So get yourself armed with vests, long sleeve tops, leggings, so that you can start to wear the dresses, you can start to wear the skirts, you can start to wear the prettier blouses, you can start to wear the lighter jumpers. But you're not going to be freezing cold, because let's face it, it is still pretty chilly outside. So that's the first thing. First thing is get all your layers sorted out. Second thing, I'll just whiz through a couple of how to lighten it up from the outside coat alternatives for those of you who may not have seen that last week. There's only like 4 things here, so we'll go through these fairly quickly. One option is just to have a brighter coat. Like if you've been wearing, like I have, a puffer jacket, puffer coat, all winter, full length, looks like a big duvet, and you're like, I need to get out of that. Just work in a brighter coat. People tend to stick to darker coats because they think they'll go with everything. But actually, normally what is peeping out from underneath, this is like a 3/4 length coat, normally what is popping out from underneath a 3/4 length coat or a full length coat is dark anyway. So you don't have to wear dark clothes. I get maybe having darker bottoms or a darker jumper so that everything goes with everything. But when it comes to a coat, and handbags, they're one of the places that people tend to play it really safe, but actually it's a great opportunity to work some colour into your wardrobe. Thanks, Lisa. This is a Bowden one from years ago now, but Bowden you can always rely on for a bit of colour. Sally, there's some great sales out there at the moment. Black coats are handy to have, but actually even one step away from a black one is a camel coat or something like that. So it's just not all quite so dark, but yeah, it's often overlooked having a bright coat in your wardrobe. They make people smile, they make you smile, and they go with everything. Just choose a colour you love and you know you're going to get a lot of wear out of. The other thing that we can do this time of year, so if you are ready to lighten it up properly and go more towards a MAC, this is one that was sent to me by White Stuff. I've just popped a hoodie under here so that you can have the hood peeping out of the back if you're like, oh, I've got some hoodies, still want to wear them a bit, not ready to pack them away, find them quite warm, just lay them over the back of a MAC. The other one that I had was, I mean, you can get MACs everywhere, but if you get one that's slightly oversized, you can still get all your layers underneath and your chunky jumpers and things. Well, we're going to move away from chunky jumpers, but you can get your layers underneath, and but it's fresher on the outside, so it just feels nicer when we start to lighten it up. The other good fabric, leather, perfect this time of year. I've just got this Reese one here that I've had for a number of years now with a big scarf on it. So you've got some colour, you've got some print, you've got some interest, but you are stepping away from those heavier clothes. If you've got room under a MAC, you know, because I am the queen of layers, I have to have so many layers, you could layer this underneath a MAC. You could have like a long wool sleeveless. Louise, you ordered one from Zara, didn't you? I meant to ask you how you got on with it. Let me know. Louise ordered this great sort of waistcoat, so no arms. Americans call them vests, don't they? I've got a coat style one, but like a sleeveless coat. Let's call it a sleeveless coat if you happen to have one. I mean, a lot of people would go, why on earth would you buy one? But I love mine, and I layer it over leather jackets and it works really well. So if you do still need that extra bit of warmth, that's a way to do it. And then when we start to get a little bit warmer and we perhaps don't need a wool coat or a trench coat or a leather coat even, let's start looking at some blazers. This is actually quite a heavy one. This is one that I had from Balkan. It's a jersey one, so it's not so formal as the kind of the wool ones, the smarter tailored ones. It's nice, you can wear it with jeans. It's got a bit of weight to it, so it has got some warmth in it. We're not there yet, but it's nice to have something to aim towards. Denim jackets are the other great one. Again, if they're oversized, you can get some more layers underneath them. You can layer them with the hoodie out. If you think that's not quite, chic enough for what you like, you can put a big printed scarf with them, and you can put a MAC over the top as well. So even when you're lightening up your outer layers, you can combine a couple of lighter ones, so it equates to a heavier one, if that makes sense. So you still get the warmth that you want, but it's not just an all-in-one big puffer coat, head to toe, duvet type look, because I think we're all kind of ready to move away from that. I hope that makes sense when it comes to your clothes and your outerwear. Then we looked at lightening it up from the inside out. So it's like your everyday clothes, what can you do to start lightening things up? And I used the example of just like, if you wear one big chunky jumper, that's basically it for the entire day, because chances are underneath you've got something that you may not want to reveal to the world. So if you start to get warm, it's like, well, where am I going to go with this? Luckily, we're in our houses at the moment. Red hoodie, hi, that was a Hush one a few years ago. I don't know if they've got similar at the moment. I haven't looked for red hoodies in particular, but that was a Hush one, and they probably will be doing something similar. Hi Jenny, nice to see you joining. Yeah, so if you're wearing a chunky jumper, it's like, where am I going to go with this if I get too hot? If you're in your house, that's fine, you can get changed. If we're starting to go out and about a bit more, it's like, that could be tricky. So let's start dressing in layers in your clothes that you're wearing, as in not your outer layers, but you're underneath your outer layers, your clothes. I said that really badly. So one thing you can start to do, just ignore me. Let's blame the after effects of the vaccination, shall we? I can rely on that for a couple more days, I think. Then I'm going to have to flick to the menopause brain, but I'll go with vaccination brain for now. So this is just a combination, and it isn't that light. I was putting it together and thinking, well, they're going to look at that and think it's not that light, but you can take the concepts and apply them in your own wardrobe. So I've gone pretty blouse here with V-neck jumper over the top, because sometimes if you've got a pussy boat, it's nice to have a V-neck jumper. But the great thing about this is if you've got the layers going on, so when you get too hot, you can just take the jumper off and you've still got the blouse on, wear a vest under the blouse, so you should be warm enough. That's one option. Another option that I was wearing yesterday and kind of went down with mixed reviews, but I really liked it. I think it's as much about the print as anything else, is this blouse from Balkan, which I wore with a turtleneck underneath it and some jeans. And I really liked that because I was warm. I'd got my vest on. Actually didn't do it yesterday. I think I did it the day before. But anyway, I'd got my vest on, got my turtleneck on, my black turtleneck. And then I got a pretty blouse over the top and some jeans. And I just got a turtleneck similar. I don't think it was this one. This is also a Balkan one. But you can get them lots of places, you know, just really simple, but a nice layering piece. A lot of them you can get in sort of like a base layer, so it's sold as a base layer for skiing or something like that, but then they have more of the heat tech in them so that you get the warmth out of them. So they're good base layers to have. They're specifically designed as base layers. But I really liked wearing that. I just thought, you know, it's heading towards spring, it's floral, it's a bit pretty, we've got lighter colours going on, but I was still warm and cosy, and frankly, that's all we want at the end of the day. Or if you think, not into layers, I don't want a blouse with a jumper over the top, I don't want a blouse with a layer underneath that you can see, you can just go for a blouse which you can then hide several layers underneath, so you could still get a vest underneath this and I mean the buttons are a little bit undone, but a long sleeved thin cotton top, you could still get that under there and you'd still be warm enough. You might then have to have a cardi on standby. We'll come to cardis on standby in a minute, just to throw over it. But you know, if you're not a big fan of doing lots of layers, then that's your third option. Mel, American Vintage do base layers, turtlenecks. Thanks for that, Mel. That's great to know. And if any of you have got anything you want to contribute, please do. You don't have to. Hi Lucy. You don't have to sit at home and listen to me. If you want to, that's great. But if you've got things you want to contribute and share with people, please do, because it's all about us all learning from one another. If you've got any questions about tops as well, do let me know whilst I'm on here, and I shall try and pick them up. But it is nice to move away from just those really chunky jumpers and to start lightening things up a little bit in terms of the colours and the fabrics and the prints, even if we do still need to have these clever, sneaky little layers going on underneath. That's what so much of this is about, is just figuring out the problem and then solving it. Most style problems can be solved, but there's a lot of people who just will look at things and go, I can't wear that, it's the wrong time of year. And you're like, well, you probably can wear that. You just need to be a little bit savvy about how you go about doing it and figure out, could you wear a different fabric which is going to give you a bit more warmth? Can you do some layering which is going to give you a bit more warmth? Can you sneak something underneath it that no one can see that's going to give you a bit more warmth? That's all it comes down to. And then on day 3 we talked about being creative with things, says she knowledgeably. I can't even remember back to the middle of last week now, to be perfectly honest. But I wanted to look at how we can lighten things up just by making us start to embrace maybe different styles of things that we haven't worn before. I know there's so many ladies out there who lack the confidence to try new things. And I've had lots and lots of emails recently, ladies saying, I'm shoehorning myself into particular styles because this is what people around me are wearing. This is what I feel I should be wearing. This is what I'm told I should be wearing. This is what everybody else is doing, rather than discovering what it is they want to be wearing and what they love and what makes them happy. And so I want us to get braver and to try more things. It's something I talk a lot inside I talk about a lot inside my course, Your Style Solution. It's about digging in and finding what's going to work for you and just cutting out the narrative of what everyone else has been telling you for years, cutting out the noise of what everyone else is doing around you or thinks you should do, or what you've told yourself you should do because of what your role is in life, and really finding out what it is that you love and what you want to have a go at trying. Let me just have a quick look, Mel, at what you said to me there, because then I'll come back. If you wear a short blouse with jeans, do you show the long layer below or tuck in? Normally, I'd probably tuck in actually. If it was just quite a fine layer, I would just tuck that in. But if you want to have a go and send me a pic, you're very welcome to do that, Mel. I have 4 oversized blazers that can get 3 layers underneath. Oh, I like that, Antonia. I like that. I loved your email last week. That was brilliant. I'm not going to tell everyone what it was, but if you want to include it, you can tell me if you want to tell people on here what you told me, you can. It just made my week. I did an email last week. If you're not on my email list and you want to sign up, there's a drop down link in my bio. You can sign up. And I did this whole email about home and away neighbours, and it is amazing how many home and away and neighbours fans there are out there. Everything tends to come back to style or confidence or issues that we all face on a daily basis as women. But I like to draw analogies and parallels with things, and Antonia sent me a brilliant response. So anyway, new things to try. Right, we did the whole week on jeans, so I think we could do a week on jeans. We could just keep going on jeans forever. But if you wanted to try a different style of jean, then I shared this barrel style with you from White Stuff. These are great, particularly for ladies who are curvier on their hips and waist, because the waist tends to be a little bit higher and is cut specifically so you don't get that really big, horrible, gapey bit at the back. So maybe you need to try, or maybe you fancy trying a new style jean. You would be amazed what having a new style jean will do to all your existing tops. They will just suddenly breathe new life into them. Now, dungarees, they're a real Marmite thing. Some people love them, some people hate them, some people just cannot get their head around the concept. They're like, I wore them when I was 4, or painters and decorators wear them. I get that, and nobody should be forced into trying something that they don't want to wear. But if you're like, ooh, quite fancy that, give them a go. Give them a go. I've had great success with these, and so have lots of ladies who followed me. They've ordered them. Again, these are the White Stuff ones. I know I'm sharing things from White Stuff and Balkan, but these are new season pieces, because loads of my stuff is not new season. Like me, it's getting a bit old around the edges. And so people do get a bit upset if things aren't new season. So that's why I'm sharing things from these brands, because these have been sent to me. Lisa, what jeans suit you if you're short body but have longer legs? We did the jeans things. I don't know if you saw any of that, Lisa, the other day. Short body but longer legs. I mean, you can do, the good thing about having a short body is you're not going to get cut in half, because lots of ladies have long bodies, so they get cut in half, and then the jeans are really uncomfortable. So for you, if you've got a short body and longer leg, then I'd love to see you, especially if you're happy to wear sometimes like a chunky heel or something, some really long bootleg jeans or something like that. You want to get them as close to the ground as you can, so that you really elongate your legs. But if you've got long legs and a short body, then depending on your shape, but pretty much the world is your oyster, because you're not having to do the leg lengthening effect. So you can have fun with rips, you can have fun with lighter patches over your thighs. You can really go to town on embellishment and things like that, because you've got lovely long legs to pull them off. But if you want to DM me separately for any advice, then just do that and I'll give you some more specific advice. Sorry, I'm missing that. Yes, slim dungarees. Slim dungarees I think are definitely the way forward. And these ones are a slim fit as well. They've got a little bit of room in the bottom, but I think you're right. If it's the oversized baggy and you used to watch Play School, then you just have Play School connotations. Whereas if they're a slimmer fit and you put a nicer blouse with them, then I feel that they just tend to work better. Not for everybody. Some ladies will want to do a bret on top, some ladies want to do a t-shirt and a really casual look with trainers. Some of us prefer to have something a little bit smarter, like a blouse or something like that with them. But yeah, these come in black as well. If, Lisa, you want specifically brands that do long legs as well, I've got a whole list of those. I wasn't sure if you needed specifically a brand that does a longer length jean. Oh, I tell you what I did find out this morning, ladies, that might be helpful for some of you. When I posted something about Air and Grace, they've just launched this shoe for International Women's Day. I should say Happy International Women's Day, everybody. They've done a pale pink sandal, but I noticed that it came in a 43, which is a 9.5, and I didn't get a chance to go in and see whether all of their styles are now coming in a 9 and a 9.5. It might only be the sandals. They started at a 3. So for those ladies who are a size 2, I think they're still going to be too big for you. But for ladies who really struggle finding brands that go beyond an 8, then this style, it's called the Moli style, M-O-L-I. It's almost like a Birkenstock pale pink, comes in a 9 and a 9.5, and I thought that's great to see. So I'm going to have to check out and see whether the rest of the range comes in bigger sizes as well, because that would be fabulous if so. Another thing to try, if you haven't tried one before, is maybe a jumpsuit. Now, Lady Lisa, you just said you've got a shorter body and longer legs. Jumpsuit's good for you because they cut lots of ladies in half. Jumpsuits do have to work really hard. We require a lot of them. They have to fit on the top, at the bottom, at the waist, in the body, in the leg, in the arms. So they can be trickier to find. But my denim one died a few weeks ago and I was gutted about it because I'd had it for so long. But actually this is a Balkan one, 15% off with Goodrum 15. It's called their Emery Lysel jumpsuit, and it comes in khaki this year, and I actually thought khaki would be really good because it's such a good base colour. It works with the neons really, really well, so you could put like neon pink with it, you could put a bright red with it, you can go with the darker colours, so you can go with the navy and the blacks, but khaki is one of those great colours that kind of sits in the middle, and you can take it super bright or you can take it super dark as well, depending on how you want to accessorize it. So a jumpsuit, whilst we're talking about lightening things up and trying new things, we've looked at jumpsuits, new style jean, dungarees. If you've got any questions about any other things you're thinking of trying and you're like, oh, shall I, shan't I? Do you know what I say to ladies? Try them. Just order them and try them, because until you get them home, until you're in your own lighting, until you've got your own accessories, you can't always tell whether you're going to love them and how they... I mean, there are some things that you'll know instantly. You're like, that's just not going to work for me. But if you're not sure, if you're on the fence, you don't really have anything to lose. The distance selling regulations mean that you can return things. You might want to check to make sure the postage is free for coming out and going back. Lots of brands do. There's lots of discounts on at the moment. So I think it's really about trying stuff. And if you want to try things and send me pictures, do. I'm very happy for you to do that. I have ladies sending me pictures of themselves in dungarees all the time. And normally when they get to the stage of sending the picture, it's because they like it and they just want someone else to go, yeah, that's good. It's not often that people send me a picture and go, this is really hideous, I'm sending it back. They're like, ooh, I quite like this, but I just need another pair of eyes. So send me pictures and I'm very happy to take a look. Now, something else I've been asked about recently are cardigan styles to go with wider trousers, which is quite a nice one as we head into spring and summer, because particularly in the summer, if you've got wide leg linen trousers, or if you've got a body shape which suits a wider leg trouser, you're not someone who likes skinnies, but you don't want to wear thick jumpers still. I was like, well, where do I go with this? And I've had ladies saying to me, I don't want to wear long cardigans with wide leg trousers. I just don't like that look. So the best solution, I think, is something like this kind of cardi, this shaped cardi. Now, this was a Christmas present. It's from Wise London. But what I wanted to show you was the shape of it. So it's fairly short and it's just done at the top and then it falls quite straight. So that is quite a nice style. It's not too long, and then with a wide leg trouser, it works really well. The other thing you can do, obviously with a cardi, but it might be a bit chilly at the moment, is to wear the cardi as a top in its own right. So there's cute ones with little collars, with embellishment, with pretty buttons that are quite fitted. The thing with those at the moment is you might only be able to get a vest underneath them or something like that. So something like that, this one might just allow you a little bit more room to get some more layers underneath it. But certainly that style, and they're not always that easy to find, which is why it's really good to know exactly what you're after and then just keep your eye out for it. That's what I teach ladies in my courses, like, you know the styles that you like, and so when you see them, you're like, I know I'm going to need one of those, and you grab it rather than reacting. So you're kind of, you've preempted what you need, you know what you need to include in your wardrobe, you're very clear on all of that, rather than suddenly doing a mad dash like, oh, I need to find a cardigan in that style, where am I going to get one? Because then you can pick them up as you go along. The other one that I've got, which is similar, and you might think that's really frumpy, most things I figured can be styled to look really frumpy or quite cool depending on what you put them with, is this one. Again, a Bowden number from a while ago, a little bit Chanel inspired, but with a pair of wide linen trousers in the summer and like a Breton tee underneath or a bright t-shirt. This one works really well. It just gives me that warmth that I need. But I know a lot of ladies don't really like cardigans. I think they can be quite hard to wear. A lot of them look fairly frumpy, so these are some alternatives that might work for you. And then I wanted to come on to skirts, and then we'll do a quick talk about shoes as well. So hopefully by the end of this, we'll have done some lightening it up for spring, and you'll have some ideas on some layering pieces, on some coats, on some different kinds of pieces you can start working into your wardrobe now. If you just want to have a try with something new now that lockdown's lifting and the spring is on its way and you feel like you're ready to embrace something different. So a good skirt style that I find for this time of year, because for the very simple reason, you can hide all manner of things underneath it to keep you warm, and you'd have seen me wearing this, is this Zara one that I've had for a couple of years now, because it's ankle length, and I can put leggings underneath that. So it's cotton, it's quite thick, but it's definitely not warm enough to wear at the moment. But I can wear this even with like a little cropped black knitted jumper, and it just gives me a way into things that feel lighter and brighter for spring, but without compromising on warmth. Now, if you look at this kind of style and go, there's just too much volume in that for me. I'm on the petite side, or it's not going to suit me, or the fabric isn't right for me. An alternative style, which is a good one, is this, which is, I call it a trumpet skirt, but it's straighter and then it flares out at the bottom. So you still get that little swoosh at the bottom, which is really good for making your waist look narrower and for balancing out your hips or for wider shoulders. But you get some movement in it. This is like a satiny one. And again, on its own, without anything underneath it, this just wouldn't be an option. But I can wear a pair of leggings underneath it. I mean, wear tights if you like to, but then I think it makes it a bit harder with shoes. You're then into winter boots still, whereas I could do this with leggings, have a tiny little bit of ankle on display and wear some trainers or some other kind of shoes. So I'm still heading towards that spring type feel, which is what I'm after. So that's a couple of skirt options. And then I should mention dresses really, dresses like this. Again, this is a Balkan one in their premium jersey, and it's a full length one. So it's down to my ankles. I've got leggings underneath it. I've got trainers with it. I know not everybody wants to wear trainers. I completely get that. They can be like, what is going on? Why would you be wearing trainers with a pretty dress? Like, for some people, that just does not make sense at all. And I completely get that. So I'll come on to shoes in a second. Oh, Molly, hi. The leopard print skirt was a Zara one. And I'll cover Zara a bit this week when I do my high street heroes, because somebody's asked me to do that. So this is a while ago now. I'm really sorry about that. But that's where it was from anyway. So I hope that helps. Dresses, yeah. Premium jersey. Jersey is a good fabric for this time of year because it's got a little bit of weight, it's got a little bit of warmth, it's good for when you're working in the house, it's got some stretch in it as well. And maybe the week after we'll start looking at dresses, because that's another thing that ladies are always asking me about. Jeans, shoes, dresses tend to be the things that we're all after, and it's the everyday dresses, because that's kind of where we are at the moment, isn't it? Just in the everyday. So I'll maybe do a little series on dresses as well. Let me know if you think that's something that would interest you. Just pop a comment in the box and I shall pick that up. But other dresses that I've got, these are all Balkan ones, like I say, because they are current season, you can get them. This is one that they did last year, which was really popular. I ended up with 2 out of these actually, and I gave one away in a giveaway. But this was a great dress, full length, layer things underneath it. That's really easy. And then this one is a nice one too. Again, this is premium jersey, but this has got a nice print on it. It'd be good to see, well, one, it will be good when we can actually get back in the shops again, so we can see and we can touch and we can feel things and try them on and you know, see what's out there. But it'd be good when the shops have got all their new season in as well. It's obviously starting to come in, but they haven't quite peaked yet, so it would be good to do something on dresses when we're a little bit closer to that. Now, the final thing I wanted to talk about was shoes, because they can one, make or break our outfit, and they can create all kinds of problems for ladies, because there's the comfort factor, there's the fit factor, there's the style factor. It's like, well, how are we going to bring all of these things together, particularly if you're not somebody who goes, yeah, I'm just happy to wear a pair of trainers, which I am, but lots of ladies aren't. So one of the best places I think at the moment to go and just look at like a really broad range of shoes on offer is Boden. They just set it out. They've got different colours, they've got different styles of things, because the colour and the print of a shoe can make it look so different. So if I were you, because some sites are so overwhelming that when you load them and there's like 1,000 options, it's like, no, I haven't got the time, I haven't got the brain space, I haven't got the brain power to work through all of it. Almost need those sites where it's just set out on a couple of pages and you can whiz through. I would head over there just for inspiration to see what there is. They'll have a combination of boots, they've got a combination of trainers, and then some quite cool shoes. Like if you walk out of your shoes, they've got straps on them, if you've got wide feet, if you've got narrow feet. Not that they specifically cater for wide or narrow feet, but they have got styles that would be better geared towards wide or narrow feet. That is where I would go and have a look. In terms of things that you can do at the moment, I think I've got a couple of pairs of shoes down here. Yes, I did put some down here. So you might have seen these before, but these were a boot, again, from White Stuff, which are just a little bit lighter. So it is just about lightening and brightening things up. These are great because they've got some leopard print on the back. The heel isn't too high, you can walk in these. And they're just a bit more delicate and dainty over the toe area because they've got more of this almond shaped toe. The other style, have I got them? Yeah. The other style that you might go, no, I really don't like those, but you know, it's good to have a look, are these more of a kind of a high top, that's the word I want, with different colours on them, comfortable to walk in, great with jeans. I tried them on with this dress earlier actually, I like them with those. So there's those. We might still be at the stage where it's a bit cold and a bit wet to be wearing shoes, but we will be there soon. So I would have a little head over to Boden, take a look. So for ladies who don't like to be completely flat to the floor, like in a ballet pump, like because ballet pumps were the go-to, but now they look really dated. Like skinny jeans look quite dated now. If you put skinny jeans and ballet pumps together, whereas a few years ago, like 10 years ago when Kate Moss was doing it, and it was like super cool, now you're like, oh no. So you might want something with a bit of a flat form in it, because it's a good way just to have that, you know, your foot is still flat, but you're slightly raised, you feel slightly higher up off the ground. A flat form is good. I looked the other day at, I think it was Asos, and just put in flat form and see what there is. They come in lots and lots of different heights, but there are some good options there, just so that you can get an overview of them. They're not all scarily high like the Spice Girls when they had those really massive chunky ones, or the tweenies. There are some in between. The Erin Grace style that I wear a lot have got I'm sure it's a 3 centimetre like built in, so you can't actually tell from the outside, just to raise you up a little bit, and they make it, they feel quite nice on your back as well. So I think a flat form is good to look at if you want a bit of height, but you don't want to wear a heel. If you're happy to wear a bit of a heel, then a wedge is good, a block heel is good. Some people like kitten heels, but not too much. It depends how far you're going to be walking. But if you're doing a lot of racing around, then I think that probably the easiest ones are a little bit of a wedge or a little bit of a flat form if you do want some height. Or a boot is so much easier to walk in because your foot is encased, so you're not going to walk out of them. So you can get away. I always think you can get away with a slightly higher heel on a boot than you can on a shoe, because you tend not to walk out of them. Right, so that's what I basically wanted to cover for you today. I hope you found that helpful. Have you got any questions coming up? Because let me just see if there was anything there. No, I asked the one about the leopard print. Is there anything that springs to mind that you want to ask me before I toddle off and let you all get on with your days? Thank you so much for showing up. It's really nice to see you and nice to be back. And yeah, I'm missing my little one, so it's good to be able to be on here instead. Like I say, I'm going to start doing a series on high street heroes because people have been saying, can we have a little bit more high street? Which is funny because most of my stuff is high street. And when I work with ladies, when I work with ladies in the shops, which I do less of now, because it's in my styling program, I always said to them, and this is the same that I do try and do in my styling program, is I'm going to save you the money that you spend on me, because I'm all about high street, I'm all about discounts, I'm all about not just going to the fourth floor in Selfridges and shopping in there, because anybody can do that. It's much more of a skill to be able to go to high street shops and to create a great wardrobe with a much smaller budget, and that's what I always really liked. Can you do necklines at some point? Lots of high neck stuff out there. Yes, Jackie, I can. So tell me what your issue is there. You're looking for lower necklines. You might really like, I don't know if you've already got it, my Style Your Shape ebook. There's a link in my bio, because if you've got a curvier bust and necklines are more of an issue, you'd love that. There's lots of guides in there for the different body shapes to show what necklines will suit you and if you've got a curvier bust, so that might be good. But yeah, Sandra, I know, I'm sorry, I haven't come back to you about a petite jumpsuit. So I can't say that I specifically know where to go for a petite jumpsuit, but I can tell you the best petite ranges to go to. So let me do that for you. There's the obvious ones that you're going to know, and you'll have to just dig around a little bit for this. I'll have a look as well. I just haven't had a chance yet. Petite jumpsuit, so that you'll know the obvious brands on the high street, which are M&S has a little bit of a petite range, but it's not that great. Next have got their petite range. I'm not sure with Debenhams now. I'm not sure what the state of play is with them, but they've got a bit of a petite range, and John Lewis have got a bit of a petite range. Hobbs, they do everything in petite. Boden, they're good for petite. I think those are two of the best actually, Hobbs and Boden. And then what you really want to look at are the American brands, because they're much better than we are at catering for petite ranges and also for tall ranges. And so you want to look at places like Gap, Banana Republic, J. Crew. They're the main ones, and I think probably out of those you will have some success. The other place, and I don't know quite whether you've got a Topshop near you, whether it's still open, and quite how they've transitioned into Asos, but have a look on Asos. Don't rule that out, because they have a petite range as well, and some of their stuff is really good. And don't think, all right, I'm too old to shop at any of those. Just go and have a look at all of them, because I think that's the big mistake we can make. I'm not saying you in particular, Sandra, I'm saying all of us. Just go, oh, that brand's too young for me, I'm not going to find anything there. You'd be amazed at what you could find in some of the shops that you think are aimed at like 20-year-olds. They've got some great stuff in there, and so many of the trends come back around again. You're like, oh yeah, I see stuff in there that my mum would like. Next, for petite jumpsuits. Thank you, Lisa. I've lost my questions. Round face. How do you know if you suit a high neck? Let me just have a look. Generally, a high neck can be, a lot of times it's to do with your frame and also how big your bust is. So if you haven't got a particularly large bust, then high necks tend to work better, not better. I don't like to say rules for things, but if people ask, then yeah, round neck, higher neckline if you've got a smaller bust. I like the bit about the round face, Jackie. You'll have to explain to me what you mean about round face and necklines. That's an interesting one. Unfortunately, at the moment, we can't order online from J. Crew as they aren't making changes to their... Yes, no, that was interesting actually about J. Crew. I saw that they're in the middle of sorting things out, aren't they? But I hope they get that sorted soon. It's still worth having a look just to see what they've got. I figure there's normally a way around these things. If you've got a friend in the US, get them to order something, get them to send it over. Could be tricky on the import duties, maybe have to wait a while. But hopefully there's some other brands there that will help with that, Sandra. Anyway, so yes, I'll do the series on High Street Heroes. If you're interested in getting my Style Your Shape ebook, there's a drop down link in my bio. That could be super helpful. I get so many questions on body shape, and I think sometimes it's just easier to work through something and really get clarity in your own mind, like an A to B type of A to Z type process, so it's really clear for you and you understand how everything all comes together. So there's a drop down link for that. I'm also doing, if anybody wants a 30-minute Zoom call with me to talk about your style goals and see how best I can help you, that's something that I offer as well. I can just send you a link. You can book into my calendar. There's a little form to fill in, and then we can have half an hour chat to see how we can help you. So I'm really glad we've answered your question, or tried to help answer your question, Sandra. I knew that was at the back of my mind, that I hadn't got round to you. If there's anyone else who's asked me a question that I haven't got round to answering on Instagram, let me know and give me a nudge. Sorry to be late to the party, love advice on white trainer smart pair. Okay, I shall have a look at that. Oh, thanks, Jackie. That's kind of you, because I'm still feeling a little bit rough. Alston Field, if I mean, I wear the Air and Grace ones a lot just because I find them so comfortable, and I like the angle inside them. If you haven't looked at those yet, do have a look and DM me. And then, yes, we'll have a look for others. A lot of people like the, I've forgotten the name of them, Thingy Goose. I think they're quite expensive and look quite beaten up before you start, so I'm not such a big fan of those. Adidas ones are really good. It depends whether you want more fashiony looking or more sporty looking, and how chunky you want. Do you want a chunky one, or do you just want a fairly flat plimsoll type one that doesn't really look like a plimsoll? Let me know what you're looking for, because then I can help you with that. Check out the Bowden ones as well, they're quite good too. Anyway, I shall love you and leave you now, ladies. It is now 11:45. Thank you so much for staying with me. I hope that you've enjoyed this, and I shall look forward to seeing you soon with some more 1-minute style tips in my wardrobe, in my High Street Heroes. And like I say, drop down link for the Style at Any Shape ebook. I can also send you a link if you want to have a chat with me for half an hour. You can book into my calendar and we can have a chat there. Okay, my loves, you take care. Lots of love, and see you again soon. Happy International Women's Day. Bye, bye.